Mosquera Montana, who played on Team Simpson, Say, Cardenas, and Cartagena, who played on Team Tuba, all playing in this game today.
And we'll take a short break from talking about Color of Ultimate to acknowledge that beautiful score to Fagan. A part of that game was not only this incredible showcase of all players of color, but you all took place in some dialogue before the game. And an incredible inside break from Torres to Cartagena. Player for Radiance yesterday, getting several blocks and just being a workhorse downfield. And number 4 from Radiance, I believe. And then centering back to Valeria. She puts up a huge flick huck to Yina Cartagena. Yina and Jessie Jones and Mosquera all in the area. Mosquera comes down with it. Score. Mosquera about 5 yards back in the end zone. Finds Chastain, who's wide open downfield. This Claire Chastain and Worth matchup, something to certainly pay attention to downfield. And Worth, one of the most exciting defenders to watch in this league so far this year. Picathley on Yina Cartagena. They go around to Manuel Cardenas. Ferraro with the disc on the high side. And she punches it into Yina Cartagena.
And if they can connect here in the second quarter, I think that will help them get those breaks back.
And the wind in the stadium swirling, but Mosquera still able to get that pull about 10 yards outside the end zone. Jessie Jones, Raleigh putting Sarah Dieter into isolation space. She tries to find Rebecca Fagan, who's sandwiched by 2 Revolution players, but she comes down with it. Up to Worth. Worth going up. Wow. And Jimby, I know you're very familiar with a lot of the players in this league field today that they were unable to have with them yesterday. A nice inside break from Jessie Jones, and then Lindsay Sue puts up a beautiful backhand for the Raleigh score. Yeah, that was a great insight you had at the start of this quarter. Yeah. Radiance really needing to stretch the field and community partnerships. The league strives for gender, racial, and economic diversity in the sport of Ultimate Frisbee. And I'll take a quick break from that to recognize this huge back end up to Chastain. Chastain comes down with it, sandwiched by 2 Radiance players. And Cardenas and Chastain, no strangers to each other, playing together in the club season for Molly Brown. Really good friends off the field as well. Certainly a connection we've been seeing all season for Revolution.
Because you see it written down with the X spelling, but whenever you say women X, if you just say women without the X, you don't know that the X is there. So I like that term, women X.
Absolutely. Split consensus on whether to pronounce it women X or just women, but to me, especially as you're unable to see the word written down as I'm speaking, it feels important to pronounce it. Jimmy, something interesting I learned about Revolution's offense is that their main goal is to move the disc by stall 2. Here for your questions, comments, anything you'd like to share. And Chastain, Cartagena going up on defense. And Raleigh with some great defense. Lisa Picathley and some others near the disc instituting some switches, but they're unsuccessful as Revolution works it up to their end zone. Cardenas putting up a very buttery high release backhand to her very good friend Claire Chastain.
That was her 3rd goal, if I'm not mistaken.
For the rest of the game today, we're going to be doing a raffle.
Yeah, Claire Chastain.
Really different than playing on an open field complex.
And Jessie Jones taking advantage of that extra 10 feet of length on the field, placing Lindsay Sue right outside, about 10 yards outside of their end zone, trying to connect their cutters downfield. Everyone's a little bit deep, and they put up a shot to 2 Revolution players. And Lindsay Sue, an amazing D between Mosquera and another. Elise Picathley faking Ann Worth to let her know she doesn't want it there, but then Jessie Jones able to find her, and Ann Worth And some contact happening on that play. Anworth keeping her cool. Cardenas with the disc, guarded by Stanlin. She puts up a beautiful flick break across. Up to Santos, to Cartagena for the goal. Lisa Becaithley chasing but can't get to her. Santos putting up a beautiful edge work flick to Yina Cartagena for the goal.
Very nice.
Up to trying to find Kayla Helton in the end zone, but quite the defensive force for Radiance this weekend. Powell puts up one to Jessie Jones, doing dual duty in the backfield as a center handler. Revolution with another and 31. Jimenez doing a give and go up to Mosquera.
On a swinging pass to a handler and then cutting deep for that really nice huck there from her teammate with tight pressure from Fagan, going up and making that catch with two hands.
And as a deep defender. And a large gainer. Just an easy 60-yard flick huck from Valeria Cardenas. Just getting into motion. Becaithley unmarked. She puts up a huge backhand to Ledley, guarded by Valeria Cardenas. Can Ledley come down with it? She can't. Yina Cartagena with a gorgeous double move. But the disc pops up, and Sue goes up for the block. Finds Jenny Way. Jenny Way puts up a large flick huck to Sue. Observer says in. It is a goal for Raleigh Radiance league season and in other ultimate endeavors, playing for the All-Star Ultimate Tour, both of them in 2016. Looking for a reset, finds Lyra Olsen. Lyra Olsen swings over to the far side, a gorgeous inside break. Both teams just doing so well to open up the field with lateral motion. She had quite the game 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago.
She definitely facilitated that with some of her teammates, and I think that kind of stuff, those connections off the field, really translate on the field as well. I think it's very cool that they've included that as part of their mission statement, equity, and knowing have among those teams as just as a starting point.
And Mosquera shoots, looking for Cartagena, but it's picked off by Jessie Jones. Another reset for Radiance. Sarah Dieter with a beautiful break to Anworth. And really going to work, showing the energy that she's got left in this game. Really visibly showing with her body language that she wants Raleigh Radiance to pick it up and close this deficit.
Yeah. Really great work by her in that point.
Back in.
And the disc is back in with Jessie Jones. A great reset to Ashley Powell. Over to Rebecca Fagan for some lateral movement. Fagan putting up a flick that may have looked like a miscommunication, but it actually leads Lindsay Sue into great space. Fourth quarter. Fagan throwing her hands up, maybe not the throw she made. A low throw to Becaithley leads to a turnover. Revolution on the move. Cartagena putting up a gorgeous backhand. Right in stride to Kayla Helton.
Yina measuring up her receiver there. What I really liked about Kayla Helton's cut there is the vertical distance.
Ferraro with the disc. A gorgeous flick. Aki Young toes it in for the goal. Observer says in. Later in this quarter. What a gorgeous play by Aki Young.
Gorgeous. Really great field awareness for her.
Its impact on the Premier Ultimate League's inception. And, starting the Premier Ultimate League, and she and I were discussing, the kind of validity of that headline today, and the board of directors having two representatives from each of the teams on the board who are all making decisions. for the league. I think that there's so much more work to be done, and that is certainly a message that the PUL has also driven home, just how much more work we have to do to reach a point of equity, which I think is an important piece. But certainly just so proud of my friends and the organizers of this league who have just started down a couple of points, but looking sharp on offense right now. Shooting to Simone Whale in the end zone, trying to box out Kayla Helton.
We saw some really good back and forth in this previous point. Happened to come out on top after grinding through a couple of possessions.
And a short field turn gives Radiance 5 yards to work with into the end zone. A quick score from Jenny Way to Lisa McCaithley. Lisa McCaithley showing some great energy, trying to hype up her team in this last quarter.
And continuing that trend here in the finals of the Premier Ultimate League.
And Yina Cartagena puts up a huge backhand right as we speak to her name, to Mosquera for the goal.
And if you see Elizabeth Mosquera running to the end zone, there's a pretty good chance that she's coming down with it there for the goal.
Absolutely. You should probably throw it if you see her going. CJ Bunch with some great closing speed there. Aki Young showing no signs of fatigue, mental or physical, at the end of this game. Wow, Ann Worth goes up over Jimena Montaña.
Through that junk set. Revo breaking down into person, and Ann Worth coming down strong, going up strong, coming down strong. Goal. They can just play with the disc a little bit and maintain possession and eat up some time that's left on the clock.
Absolutely. Yina Cartagena finds her good friend Manuela Cardenas in the end. Come to the last 4 minutes. Who will be our spin play of the game?
The spin play of the game.
One from number 13, Rojas. And Radiance finds Bookhout in the end zone for a goal. Dialogues pretty much every team meeting and practice weekend that they have about mental toughness. So a really important piece of their game, and certainly, absolutely. And as professional athletes, certainly something that Hilaria on the trap side, guarded by a big mark from McCaithley. Cartagena looking downfield.
And you see here on the replay, Yina Cartagena calling for her team to get set up, really using some nice fakes to move her mark, and putting it up, Mosquera being heads up and attacking that disc with 2 hands.
Over to Georgia Say. A great grab from Stanlin. Success with some alternative defenses.
Definitely.
Valeria Cardenas puts up an immediate backhand to Yina Cartagena. Lisa McCaithley close behind Valeria Cardenas, but she just dishes it into the end zone.
Assist by number 33, Cardenas.
A miscommunication between Simone Whale and Sarah Dieter. Valeria Cardenas puts up an immediate huge backhand at the buzzer. This will be it for the game. And Revolution takes the game 20-14. Thank you so much for joining us again. I'm Hannah Leathers here with my co-host Demi Matsunaga. We appreciate you tuning in. And that is the conclusion of the first season of the Premier Ultimate League.